we're really excited about this team. Great group of guys. Most of these guys are holdovers from the 2019 team, that run. And their season was shortened last year, of course. We were off to a great start, so we just removed things 1 year later and tried to get her going again.
And then going off of last year, 14-4 when the season ended. Is that something to build off of, or is it kind of almost pushing the reset button and starting over with a brand new year?
I think we just pick up from where we stopped last year. So we're starting the year 14-4. I mean, really, with the fact that they've reduced us 10 games, it's more or less the way I'm looking at it.
Questions?
So, guys, you both had chances to sign, maybe get drafted, whatever, but you decided, I'm going back. Was it an easy decision to take advantage of another year and come back and try to win this thing?
I think for both of us it was pretty easy, just because we got cut short. Leaving early didn't feel right, especially with all the talent we had on the field. And like they said, we were 14-4, felt like we hit our stride, and felt like there was a lot of opportunities out there that we wanted to take advantage of, including a national championship, make another run at it. So it was pretty easy for us to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to a lot of guys. I reached out to like Bly, Zach, all those guys who got drafted. Obviously, it wasn't the same position because they were draft guys and stuff like that. I had a lot of conversations with Bramwell and Skip, and we talked almost the entire quarantine about it. Like, my heart was set on coming back and finishing this thing, and I wanted one more year to get that gold ring and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was pretty much a no-brainer. But, yeah, those talks were real and made me realize how much I cherish everything I do out here at Mesa.
And then having the seniors being able to come back, how do you think that strengthens your team as well? I mean, you already going to have a strong roster, but with the seniors getting another year, what does that do?
Well, I think, the seniors we have returning are all mature guys. They're experienced. One additional year obviously only adds to that. So, and from a leadership standpoint, most of them were heavily involved from a leadership standpoint last year. So as I said, we'll pick up. The inner workings are in place. And we have some new additions, some young guys. So we have a bigger roster than we were planning with the COVID situation. So we're, as a coaching staff, having to manage that a little bit. But we've always carried a little bit bigger roster, so it's not incredibly hard for us.
And then Spencer and Trevin, when did you guys take that extra time to get in the cages or to go coach and just get some extra work in over the quarantine?
Yeah, it was definitely weird because, for both of us, we've usually been playing baseball at that time every year. So with all that extra time, there was a lot of opportunity to get better, and I think we both took pretty good advantage of that.
Yeah, the quarantine was pretty tough. You had to do what you could, and, I got an email from my summer coach saying that they canceled as well, and then you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, it's the end of May, like there's nothing going on. And I got another coach that called in another league that was still going on, so I was fortunate enough to go play over summer. So, yeah.
Did you get the same opportunities as well to do that, or did you
No, my league was canceled and I couldn't find another one to play, so I was kind of just around here, going to the field as much as I could.
With a bigger roster and, the guys last year got their year back, obviously, which was good for them. But how do you kind of manage that? I mean, you're going to be different. Basketball, everybody else, this is their free year, and you've had yours.
Right. Well, it's a challenge. I think we set some of that in motion this fall. We were fortunate. We were a program in school where we had our full fall, and we had a good fall. I think the guys would agree with that. And but as we approached the end of the fall and we had end-of-season meetings, we had an opportunity to address guys and let them know where they stood. Let them know that we have 49 players, but we don't have 49 uniforms. So there's some redshirt situations. There's some of those that'll still, manifest as we go, as we figure those things out. We may have a situation where we have some floating uniforms, where on one week these 4 guys are with us, and then the next week a different 4. And I think that hopefully it doesn't become an issue, but if we do have some losses to COVID, guys, we do have depth to cover that. So we'll just roll with that, but we have set a plan in place to manage it.
Obviously, basically the entire team back and bringing in new guys. Are you kind of starting to shake out? I know you still got some time to work, but so maybe some of the new guys that are going to play a good role for this team?
We don't know exactly yet. I think we will entrust our program into our older, experienced players to begin with, and we'll let the younger guys come along, learn our ways. I do think it's been a benefit to. We have such an outstanding, junior and senior classes. I do think it's a benefit to these young guys to have the opportunity to be around these guys, and some of them that they may otherwise wouldn't have. I think that'll help the growth of our program in the future, as those guys have great models to look to in the older guys.
Do you guys have any mental tricks that you've been helping stay sharp since in such a long off season? In baseball specifically, very mentally tough. And you guys don't necessarily have to beat each other up in practice like football. They got sick of hitting each other. So what do you have to do technique wise, or what are you gonna do with such a long off season?
Is that just for the upcoming season, or is that for an everyday
Yeah, I guess leading up to now.
Oh, leading up to now. Oh yeah, I got stuff on that. So since 2019 ended that way, and we only got 18 games in 2020, what do you look back on? For me, 2020, yeah, that happened. But 2019, I'm still hungry for that championship, and even now that spring semester's already started, I'm already starting to look back at that video. We did so good, and then we lost. And I just make sure to take in all those videos, those interviews. I just keep on replaying them because that's what drives me. I want this season to go right so bad.
I'd say it's pretty similar for me. Every time I know the guys that were there in 2019, you think back to that game, everyone's still pissed off we lost, and all that motivation for 2020 is still there. And with it being cut so short, it just boiling over for another year is only gonna make us stronger. So just keep thinking back on what we could have done and what we still can do, and that just kind of drives us up the field every day.
Kind of like a revenge mentality, and revenge on the entire world.
Something like that.
You guys, and you were in limbo for so long. It's are we gonna start back up? And you gotta stay ready, but you can't do anything. And then when they finally said, okay, you're done, it's gotta just be, like you said, just off the world.
Yeah, it was definitely weird at first because, like I said, we've always played baseball in that time of year, and so having that time off and having it stripped away from us when we thought we could make another run at it was definitely tough to cope with, but it's definitely motivating because this year, it's not guaranteed that we're gonna play, but hopefully we get through the whole thing and hopefully make another run at it.
Question of the week.
Who inspired you to play baseball, or who's your favorite sports hero?
I don't know.
That look, Trev.
Somebody who inspired me to play baseball. My parents had me play they wanted me involved with sports when I was younger. Because I was pretty athletic and I just fell in love with the game. Hero. I was a big Nomar Garciaparra fan growing up when he was with the Dodgers, and then that switched over to Manny Ramirez when he was with the Dodgers. So I love those guys. Those guys were fun to watch.
You guys that aren't known as Dodgers, more known as Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Go ahead.
As far as inspired, I would say Trevin said my parents, they kind of just put me in the sport and I fell in love with it really quickly. And then as far as a hero, it was always Vladimir Guerrero for me. Grew up in Southern California, so just watching him in an Angels uniform was pretty inspiring and made me want to be pretty good at baseball.
Yeah, we only got the Dodger channel in Vegas, so.
For me, was this a coach question as well?
Yeah.
Well, from my earliest recollection, I really loved baseball. I can't explain why, but I would say from an inspirational standpoint, my dad created a lot of opportunities for me to be able to play growing up, especially where I grew up. And so I would have to say my parents, my dad. In terms of my hero, the only real hero I had growing up was Kenny Stabler. The snake. Some of these people don't even know who Kenny Stabler is, but he was my guy. And I actually follow his daughter on Twitter because she's always posting Kenny Stabler stuff. So he was my hero.